Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. I watch short videos of second creation, but the characters in the anime are broken. The short video that Zhang Chaoyu watched is connected to the anime world. Opening, compared to Carot, why is Luffy's explosive seed rating worse? Kakarot blew the fire of Zhong'er.Luffy's comical fifth gear doesn't look bad. It is fatalism that makes Wanjie roast.Luffy. What fate does it have to do with me? I can only use my fists to blow away all those who hinder me. Counting down those incredible plotlines Wanjie. Use your abilities to make the giant kill your mother. Without a moment of sadness for 2.5 pieces of enlightenment, the next one to rush to the battlefield is neither pure love nor cow, this is grass, a plant. Those tear-jerking scenes. What exactly is the origin of this key society, how could it deceive me into tears? I can't hold on to this lifespan knife from Florian anymore. As the video continues to refresh, the anime characters are all broken. One moment I was still laughing, the next moment I was sobbing bitterly. Zhang Chaoyu. Wait. Why is my income getting worse and worse? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Erchuang Video Comprehensive Comics, both popular. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. I must find a job where I lie down and earn money. Until noon. The sun had already risen high, illuminating Zhang Chaoyu's entire body. He didn't get up either. But lying in bed, clenching their fists, expressing their lofty ideals. Unfortunately, a beautiful ideal will be shattered in the next moment. Go ahead, wake up and talk in your sleep. Get up and eat. After finishing, go find a job. Okay, Mom, Zhang Chaoyu sighed helplessly. Lying down to earn money is a long and arduous task. He rolled over in one go and got dressed in one go. After experiencing another nagging from my mother at the dinner table. With the idea of leaving early and ending early. Zhang Chaoyu ate his meal as quickly as possible. Mom, I won't help you clean up the dishes and go find a job. See you tonight. Say it. Zhang Chaoyu rode a newly renovated second-hand electric scooter onto the street. Recruiting 2 food delivery drivers, salary negotiable. Recruiting 1 night cashier, 3K.4.5K. Hourly workers, 100.200 hours. I wandered for half an hour. I can't find a job that I like. But it's also true. A mainland city that cannot even be considered a 5th-tier city. How is it possible to find a better job? I failed again, come out and look for it tomorrow. There is still a long way to go before sunset. I will definitely receive training again when I go back now. Zhang Chaoyu rode his bike to the park, sat on a bench under the shade of a tree, took out his phone, opened a small station, and started watching videos. Then, I accidentally shook my phone. The screen jumps to the advertising page. If you watch videos, you'll have money. Make sure you watch 10 short videos every day, the more you watch, the richer you become. Understand the applause. Wow. Accompanied by the applause sound effect, a line of large characters appeared on the screen. Downloading XP short video. APK. Zhang Chaoyu was taken aback. Wanama, even if your phone vibrates and enters the advertising interface, it's still automatically downloaded now. What feature is this developed by Kenzuka? Nowadays, I understand everything I know about mobile phones. When Zhang Chaoyu returns to the main page, XP short videos have already been installed. He originally intended to uninstall directly. But by a stroke of fate, I still clicked on the icon to enter the software. After all, X and P are 2 of the top websites. Perhaps there could be unexpected gains. Congratulations on becoming the designated sole user of this software, activate with a 10,000-fold rebate. Nowadays, software slogans are also too appetizing. Zhang Chaoyu sighed with emotion. It's both unique and a 10,000-fold rebate. Speaking as if one is the son of fate. But obviously, it's definitely nonsense. Zhang Chaoyu pursed his lips and started closing the advertising slogan. Formally enter the software. The first video is the one from Mail Sign, the original video of the man. Wow! Is this big data? I know I will never forget this free turn. It seems that this software is not completely useless. Zhang Chaoyu felt happy in his heart. He started downloading the little broken website for the sake of ghosts and philosophy. I didn't expect to see the god of philosophy again now. Is there any reason not to finish reading? The aftertaste time is exceptionally short. Soon, the video ended. Just as Zhang Chaoyu wanted to relive it. After watching the first video in its entirety, the new employee benefits will be distributed. Congratulations on receiving a profit of 1,000 yuan, which can be withdrawn at any time. This. Zhang Chaoyu hesitated and clicked on My for a list. In the top earnings, you can see a bright 1000.00.00. Can't we really withdraw money, can we? Immediately, he shook his head and said, it's impossible, absolutely impossible. It's just a video, how could it give so much profit? I'm afraid after I bind my bank card, it will be stolen. Although Zhang Chaoyu only has 4.73 in his bank card, he doesn't want to be deceived by scammers. This is a principle. But that being said, after all, this is a 1,000 yuan bill. 230 times more than what I have in my bank card. Once it's true. That's just blood earned. Even if it's not true, just adding a bank card would be a waste of time at most. It seems that it's time to abandon the principle. After a moment of hesitation, Zhang Chaoyu abandoned the principle without any psychological burden and entered personal information. Click the withdrawal button. Ding. The SMS prompt sound will sound in a timely manner. Zhang Chaoyu nodded in surprise. It is the information of 1,000 yuan received from the bank card. Surprisingly, it's true. Zhang Chaoyu couldn't believe it at first. Then he was overjoyed and said, I have found a job that can earn money while lying down. Even without new employee benefits. But there is still a 10,000-fold rebate. Lying in bed and watching videos can earn you 5-digit profits in a day. I am very comfortable. However, before that, we still need to try whether the 10,000-fold rebate is true or false. He returned to the video page and continued browsing the video. After skipping a few nutrient-free videos, he finally saw an interesting title. Why is it that the Carot is more easily accepted, while the 5-speed Land Rover makes many viewers unable to get excited, as they are all desperate and explosive? Zhang Chaoyu did not continue to flip his fingers. At the same time. Anime world. On the clear sky, a light curtain appears at intervals. For a while. Everyone couldn't help but look up. Chapter 2. As soon as the fruit awakens, the clown walks everywhere. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. One Piece World. Luffy, look, your name is floating on top. Joba lay on the railing, pointing to the screen in the sky, and turned to look at Luffy. Really? Luffy never thought about the consequences of his name appearing on this unknown light screen. I just find it very interesting. So he laughed heartlessly. But when it comes to it, I've only seen the 3rd gear of Luffy, but it says the 5th gear. Nami looked puzzled. Turning his head, he asked, Luffy, aren't you hiding your strength so far? Besides that, there is no other reason to explain what happened to the 5 levels on the subtitles. Lu Fei shook his head and said, no, I've already done my best using 3rd gear. How could I possibly switch to 5th gear? The crew thought about it too. After shifting to 3rd gear, Luffy will become a little brat due to severe overdraft. Just 3 levels of side effects are so serious. Not to mention 5th gear. And Luffy is very naive. If he could turn it into a 5th gear, he would never hide it from himself. But the light screen says, Luffy has developed 5 levels. What exactly is going on? At this moment, Robin frowned and analyzed, is what was said on the screen happening in the future? Impossible, right? Jobo waved his hand. Can anyone really predict the future? The devil's fruit has a variety of abilities, and even if there are divination fruits, it is not surprising. Robin touched his chin and began to analyze. I just can't figure out how these light curtains were formed, and why the other party wanted to expose Luffy's future. What impact will these two things have? Especially. From the meaning of this sentence, it seems that 5-speed road flying is not a good thing for many people. Robin felt uneasy. But I can't guess the consequences. I can only continue to watch, perhaps the light curtain will give the answer. Dragon Ball World. The spaceship of the Frisian Legion. Late Eyes saw 2 names and pondered for a moment. Then a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. If I remember correctly, would my useless parents' younger brother be called Carot? It seems that he may still be alive. As a Saiyan, I can still fall into a desperate situation. It seems like a little trash, it's really embarrassing for me. If it's really him, I don't mind killing him myself. As a waste, especially waste related to oneself. What's the use of keeping it? Why not kill him earlier? Save him face. At this moment, the screen begins to appear in the light curtain. Carot and Luffy are the main characters in 2 hot-blooded anime films, respectively. Since they all come from Wang Daoman, it's inevitable to use cheats and explosive seeds, but the audience did not pay for the explosive variety of Luffy. Some viewers even said that after watching over 1,000 inspirational episodes, the clown turned out to be myself. Accompanied by narration. Bullet comments also appear on the light screen. Is that for sure? How much was the pirate moved in the early stages? Luffy's desperate battle made me cry several times, but when I stepped out of 5th gear, I instantly felt like I was a bad move. When Sun Wukong transformed into a super series for the first time, I felt like my whole body was on fire. On the other hand, when Luffy transformed, I can only say, please give me a pair of unseen eyes from heaven. Damn 5 levels, ruin my waist in an instant. How can the 5 levels of hinder be on par with the greatest cheat screen? Under one person in the world. A work that can make people cry must be very beautiful, but looking at these people's comments, it seems like their senses for this work have deteriorated after 5 rounds. Zhang Chaoyu is very puzzled. He has also read many novels. Normally, cheating is equivalent to forcing. But how does it look now? Is it not like this when Luffy is hanging up? He was more focused and wanted to know what Luffy had done. Full-time Hunter World. Xiao Jia rubbed his chin and pondered, although I don't quite understand. But the general situation is that Luffy exploded and almost destroyed an entire work. And while Carot exploded, he brought the work to its climax. Chi placed his hands behind his head and casually spoke, "So who knows?" At the beginning of the video. It attracted audiences from all over the world. Everyone wants to know. What is the difference in the way these 2 people used cheats to make their reviews so vastly different? Then. The screen continues. First of all, it's Carot, who has a special identity that he told the audience from the very beginning. That monkey tail is by no means owned by humans throughout his life. There were only battles and cultivation encountering a strong enemy, practicing recklessly and ultimately defeating them. Not long after resting, new enemies will come knocking on his door. He works twice as hard to cultivate and protect the things he cares about despite the cliché plot. His every battle is so heart-wrenching, practice, unleash potential, and continue to cultivate, constantly squeezing one's own talents, so that the balance of victory constantly leans towards him. Until the planet chapter of Namek, he encountered an opponent that even with no effort, he could not defeat. The Cosmic Emperor, Frieza. Frieza's cruelty scared us even in front of the screen. The combat power of over 1 billion in Frieza has made every audience nervous. Everyone is afraid that Carot will die at the hands of Frieza. Everyone was also moved by the perseverance of Sun Wukong and others at the same time. With Sun Wukong injuring Frieza for the first time, we also had the illusion of winning this battle. Then at the moment of Klin's sacrifice to heaven, both the audience and Carot's anger reached its peak. When everyone wanted Frieza to die quickly, Carot hung up. Chapter 3. Super Saiyan. Vegeta and Foley. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The up summary is great. The story of Dragon Ball is indeed cliché, but it just makes people's blood boil. Do you still remember when I was a child, the first time I read the Mike Planet chapter, I was so anxious that I cried, especially afraid that Sun Wukong would be killed by Frieza. Who isn't it? I keep begging them to surrender quickly, just hoping they can survive. Even us bystanders are so scared, I can't even imagine how scared Wufan and his companions are. But they continued to fight, while I scolded them for being foolish and cheered them on. When I saw Klin being killed, a lot of sand got into my eyes. But how can I say it? Klin's sacrifice to heaven has boundless power. Coming soon, an insurmountable mountain in the history of animation. The most stunning scene in history. The dense barrage of bullets captured the appetite of all the heavens. During the narration, the screen also constantly changes, showcasing half of Carot's life in just 30 seconds. Everyone saw Carot's efforts through the short video. Either practicing or fighting. At the same time, it also showcases the terrifying sense of oppression and absolute strength of Frieza. 4 forms. The weakest form also has a combat power of 53W. About 30 years ago, it was possible to destroy a planet with a single blow. He only showed ease when facing the invincible Z warriors on Earth. How could it be so powerful? There is no chance of victory at all. The people of Wanjie also felt that despair. Naruto World. Unexpectedly possessing such terrifying strength that with just one strike, one can destroy an entire planet. Can such an enemy really be defeated? Naruto, who was practicing with Karabi, couldn't help but swallow his saliva. If it were Frieza who invaded the wooden leaves in the first place. What can that weak self achieve? Nothing can be done. Death World. Corpse Soul Realm. What kind of stunning image is it that makes it an insurmountable mountain? The gods of death were all focused on staring at the light curtain. According to those bullet comments, Kling's death was a turning point in this battle. What's going on next should be Carot's explosive growth and cheating. And the barrage says that the next scene is the most shocking in history. How could they not expect it? Dragon Ball World. Late Eyes, who had originally maintained disdain for Carot. I am already foolish now. Shocked beyond measure. I thought Carot was a waste and a shame to the saints. How do you feel now? Are you the one who is useless? Originally. Is it King Frieza who put him in a desperate situation? I don't even have the courage to resist Frieza. And Kakarot, his younger brother who had never received proper training, was able to fight against the king. Even successfully causing the king to be injured. Is this a joke? Why is he so powerful? Another thing is, I must not let anyone know that Carot is my brother. Otherwise, Late Eyes didn't even know that this matter had come to the ears of the king. How will I die myself? At the same time. King. Main ship. All the subordinates of the Frisian Legion knelt down trembling to the ground. The atmosphere dare not breathe. They never expected it. There is someone in this universe who can make Frieza injured. I never thought of it. This picture, surprisingly, was made visible to oneself through a light curtain. Isn't this fun? With the king's temper, he definitely doesn't want others to know that he has lost face. Will I just die like this? Damn it, who made this light curtain? Don't let me know, otherwise we must kill him. But, surprisingly, Frieza did not engage in an angry killing spree. But he said with great regret, Vegeta and Late-Eyes have been under my command for so many years, and it's ridiculous that they haven't even grown a wild monkey. Tell them that I can give them a year to become stronger, and it doesn't need to be too powerful. It only requires 100W combat power, otherwise they won't have any need. Yes. A group of members of the Frisian Legion quickly left the main ship. They are really afraid that the king will commit murder. Of course. This sentence doesn't need to be conveyed by Frieza. The proud Prince Vegeta couldn't help it anymore. He is a prince. Enjoying the best cultivation resources. Result. In the end, standing across from Frieza, was a Saiyan who had never heard of before competing with him. How can he tolerate this? This makes him proud. Where does his dignity go? Kakarot, is that right? I'll wait for you. I'll let you know that the person who ultimately defeats Frieza must be me, Vegeta. He no longer pays attention to the light curtain. Seize the time to cultivate. Then. In the picture. Boom. The narration disappears. Only the golden thunder roared beside Carot. The author of the short video should tell all viewers in the most primitive and unadorned way how shocking it is for Sun Wukong to transform into Super Saiyan 1 for the first time. Under the clear sky, lightning flashed and thunder roared. The whole planet trembled with Carot's anger. The golden thunder seemed to be celebrating the birth of a new king, flickering incessantly. Finally. In the thunder. Carot's hair turned golden. The pupils turned green. Staring sideways at Frieza. A cold expression without any emotion. Chapter 4. The fire of Zhong'er conveys to all realms. Chi Yuchai. You are listening at novel full.audio. Vegeta accidentally caught a glimpse of the scene on the light screen. Boom. I just feel like my brain is blank. Is this the legendary Super Saiyan? But soon, he smashed the sandbag with a gloomy punch. Damn it. Damn it. I am the Prince of the Saiyan. The first one to become a Super Saiyan is me, it must be me. The content in the video has not yet happened. Wait, Frieza, Carot, I will let you know that I am the best Saiyan. The pride that belongs to the prince makes it impossible for him to swallow this breath. And on the main ship. Frieza also rarely stands up from its stroller. Raise the corners of your mouth. Cruel expression. The legendary Super Saiyan actually exists. Roar, things are getting more and more interesting. Although the video did not show the subsequent battles, combined with the barrage, should have been defeated and even killed. Killed by just a monkey. I believe that after watching the video, Vegeta will do everything possible to become a Super Saiyan and defeat me, right? It's just a pity, I don't mind making you monkeys feel deeper despair. Frieza twisted her neck and clenched her fist slightly. A fierce gaze gazed towards the boundless space. I will give you a chance to challenge me. Earth. Wukong, you are too strong in the future. Seeing one's competitors and friends, it turns out that the future will become so powerful. Klin was both envious and happy for Wukong. He laughed and punched Sun Wukong, then raised his eyebrows and opened his mouth. Sun Wukong, who was still in his youth, was not so happy. On the contrary, my mood is heavy. He shook his head and said, but I put you in danger. You were even killed by that despicable Frieza. Speaking of which. Sun Wukong couldn't help but clench his fist. Clin laughed nonchalantly and said, Wukong, what are you saying? You have become so angry because I was killed, which shows that you care about me very much. I am already very happy, and we have a divine dragon. Even if I die, I can be resurrected. You don't need to worry too much. The divine dragon is not a reason why I didn't protect you well. Even if I only saw it in the video. Sun Wukong couldn't forgive himself for not protecting his most important friend. He took a deep breath and made up his mind, Clin, I'm sorry, I'm going to go experience it again, I must become stronger, I won't let you get into danger again, I swear. Say it. Sun Wukong flew away. Clin gritted his teeth and said, what, in the video, he's already handsome enough. He still says handsome things now. He turned his head and glanced at the venue of the world's top martial arts meeting. Then he turned his head and looked towards the direction where Wukong had left. Clenched his fist and said, don't think you're any Super Saiyan who can shake me off. Wait, I'll still be your biggest opponent when we meet again next time. Even if you have a second illness, you need to explore the world of love. Nanny. Fuchi Yongtai only feels like a bolt from the blue sky. Too handsome. Through difficult battles, through despair and the death of companions. In anger, hair explodes and golden thunder surrounds. How could there be such a domineering person? Oh no, no. Fujiang's heart rate suddenly climbed. I only feel that my suppressed soul of the second year of middle school is expanding and breaking through the seal. Such a handsome scene is simply in line with his thirst for the second tier. One Punch Superman world. Chiyu raised her hand and touched her shiny scalp. Then he looked up at the sky. The eyes of the dead fish were filled with helplessness and confusion. Subsequently, he knelt down in despair and pounded the ground. Why? Even though everyone is getting stronger, he dyed his hair and became more handsome, but I lost all my hair. Where is the heavenly principle? Where is the heavenly principle? The biggest fear between people is comparison. The cost of becoming stronger oneself is losing all your hair. When there is no comparison, Chiyu cannot accept it either. But now, seeing Sun Wukong become stronger, not only did he not become bald, but his beautiful hair looked even more domineering. The sense of drop lifted it up in one go. How can I fix it? I must find a way to save my hair. This day. Chiyu secretly swore. The Blade of Ghost Destruction World. No wonder the comments in the video say that the scene is insurmountable and really cool. It would be great if I could be so handsome too, sighed Charizard as he looked up at the sky. My wife nodded with hopeful eyes. Both are golden hairs. He also hopes to be as domineering as Sun Wukong. That silhouette. That golden lightning. I'll drop a mommy. It's simply indescribable. Just. The next moment. My wife Shani immediately hugged Carbon Jilang and said, no, 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 you've also seen that explosive seeds require friends to offer sacrifices to heaven. Carbon Jiro, your only friends are me and that guy Izusuk, right? I don't want to die, take back your wish. My wife Shani is about to cry. Kanjiro is speechless. He really wants to know how my wife Shani associates it with friend sacrifice to heaven. It's quite outrageous. But speaking of it. At this moment, Ijiju, who had been staring at the video and ignored the two, suddenly said. Look at that carrot, that angry aura can make the entire planet tremble. Are they too strong? Also, the planet mech. Should be some star outside the sky, right? What if the planet we are stepping on is just a planet that Fleisa has not yet discovered? P.S. The new book is not easy, kneel down and beg for all the data such as flowers and evaluation votes from the big shots. P.S. The new book is not easy, kneel down and beg for all the data such as flowers and evaluation votes from the big shots. Chapter 5. The troubles of the fifth rank, damn fatalism. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Carbon Jilang and my wife Shani were both stunned. Is Yi Zhizhu such a smart guy usually? But then. My wife Shani quickly went up to cover Yi Zhizhu's mouth. Don't be a crow's mouth. Those ghost tribes are already scary enough, and this Frieza is even more terrifying. With us humans, we will definitely not win. Thinking of Yi Zhizhu's speculation. My wife Shani couldn't help but tremble all over. When he thought about the possibility of facing Frieza face to face someday in the future, he was frightened and fainted. Marvel World. Interestingly, a universe that has never been heard of before. The ruler of the dark dimension, Domum, is very interested in the Dragon Ball universe. As long as I can find this universe earlier than those guys, then it will be my possession. A brand new universe independent of the known multiverse. If one can successfully find and govern, perhaps it will bring about some changes in oneself. One Piece World. Wanli Sunshine. The current appearance of Carot always reminds me of the way Luffy stood up at a critical moment. Nami misses speaking up. Yeah, although our captain is just a fool, he is always very handsome in critical moments. Sanji, holding a cigarette in his mouth, leaned against the railing next to Nami inside. Joba scratched his head and said, speaking of which, Carot is really handsome. Losing to him is also an inevitable thing, right? But, Luffy's fifth gear seems to have been scolded quite harshly. I think if the difference is small, I won't be scolded, will I? Upon hearing this, the crew all felt it made sense. If Luffy's fifth gear, like him so far, fights for his companions, it would also be very handsome. It won't be sprayed by bullet comments. But reality is not like that. I'm starting to suspect that Luffy's fifth gear is really bad. Nami hesitated to speak. She also doesn't want to doubt the captain. But those barrage of sadness and anger cannot come without reason. There was a moment of silence. Sarong sighed and said, let's continue reading. Perhaps we can understand how bad fifth gear is. If we say, Carot's transformation into Super Saiyan 1 is the most successful portrayal in history. Among all the hot-blooded anime series, the fifth gear of Luffy is the most failed portrayal. Let's list the slot points one by one. The Kakarot game meets everyone's expectations, mainly because we can see the process of Sun Wukong's hard work. He can be said to be constantly practicing. And what about Luffy? He only underwent 2 training sessions, the first before going out to sea and the second after the Top War. For the remaining time, he was either fighting or attending a banquet, so it can be said that there were no traces of training. That's right, when he cheats, it looks very unreasonable. Point 2. Luffy worked hard with Raleigh to train for 2 years, initially mastering the fourth gear. After 2 difficult battles, he completely mastered the fourth gear. And how long did it take him to master 5 levels? It's just 15 days. In 15 days, I have mastered the advanced usage of armed color domineering, as well as the entanglement of domineering color domineering, and even awakened 5 levels. This is too outrageous. If Luffy had this talent, what did he spend the 2 years practicing with Raleigh? 2 years of training time, can't it even compare to losing 15 days of freedom? The third point, Luffy first saw Kaido drunk, and his moves were frequent. It can be said that he did his best to wake Kaido up, and then he was knocked unconscious by a stick. After 15 days of decisive battle with Kaido, facing 2 consecutive battles with some losses, Kaido lost his combat ability for the first time shortly after the battle. After being restrained by his companions for a while, he returned to the battlefield and was knocked unconscious by a stick. After replenishing their stamina, they both returned to the battlefield once again and were once again beaten to the point of losing their combat power. The last time I was knocked unconscious, although it was mainly due to human interference that led to an instant defeat, I still fainted in this constant sit-ups. Cheating is rampant. How does this make the audience accept it? The last point. And most importantly, even if it's a cheat from the sky, it's not enough. It's also a destiny for Luffy, who is free, to save the world. At the beginning, the Pirate King was just a group of people with dreams, conquering the sea due to various ideals. This story brings us passion and emotion. Luffy wants to be the Pirate King, just because he is the freest person on the sea, but with the awakening of the 5 levels, he had the responsibility of saving the world, which was his destiny that he could not refuse. With destiny on his body, can his adventure still be considered free? When each of us watches One Piece, we all hope to be as free as Luffy. But in the end, towards the end of the adventure, tell us that everything is just fate. What is the freedom we once felt? A dream. It can be said that the free kernel has already changed since the appearance of the 5th level. This is the most unacceptable point for the audience. PS 500 fresh flowers and more. 50 evaluation votes plus updates. Rewards and updates. Monthly pass plus change. Urgent need for the big shots to feed. Chapter 6. Lu Xiu. The so-called fate is also determined by. You are listening at novel full.audio. You're absolutely right. That's it. As soon as the Nika fruit comes out, freedom and dreams become empty talk. I wonder, determinism, can one die without determinism? If Luffy knew that he suddenly had an extra responsibility to save the world, would he be willing? I really don't know what Oda thinks. I've decided that in the future, Fugen will be the #1 thief and Oda will be the #2 thief. To be honest, isn't it just that we can't beat Kaido? Our audience can't accept it. Kaido's addition of the prefix strongest creature already indicates his value. Or, to put it another way, it's not a big deal to let Luffy practice for a while until he masters the power and challenges himself. Do we have to let him go find Kaido when he just mastered Sakura? In the end, he found out he couldn't beat it and gave him a heavenly descent cheat. And there hasn't been any preparation yet. We have been looking at rubber fruits for over 20 years, and suddenly they have turned into mythical beasts fruits, even changing the combat system directly. On the Wanli sunshine. See what the barrage says. What is the domineering and domineering aura entangled in the color of a king? What is flowing Sakura? Sanji and Sauron looked puzzled. Well, it seems like you're focusing on the wrong point. Nami swallowed her saliva and turned her head to scan the other few people. Pointing to the scene on the sky, he said, we will fight head-on with that beast, Kaido, in the future. How can we possibly win? Moreover, the beast pirates may have seen this scene. Since they know we are enemies, they will definitely come to find us, right? So, why don't we find a place to avoid the limelight first? Luffy immediately refused and said, why do you want to dodge? What kind of beast pirate group? If they come up, just beat them up. Sure enough. The captain's brain is not working well. Before he said this sentence, I never thought how powerful Kaido was. Nami ignored Luffy's words and stared at the others as she continued, what do you think? Good idea. Sanji nodded. I agree. Let's quickly hide. Joba was already scared and almost cried. Ah. Luffy pointed to his face and said, aren't you all ready to consider my suggestion? Robin patted Luffy's back and comforted him. Luffy, let's listen to us first this time and hide for a while. With our current strength, we won't be able to defeat the beast pirates. Also, since the video criticizes you for not working hard enough, this time, let's practice hard for a period of time and prove through your actions that your cheats are not from the sky, but are developed through your hard work. Although Luffy is unwilling. But he respects the choices of the crew. Okay, he said in disappointment. Robin smiled and then asked again, Luffy, what would you do if you were destined to save the world? I don't understand what saving the world is, Luffy clenched his fist. I will only defeat all the guys who hinder me from becoming the One Piece King one by one. Hear this answer. Sauron, Nami, and others all smiled helplessly. This answer really has the style of a captain. The country of harmony. Mr. Kaido, what are you going to do with the Straw Hat Boy? Jean stood behind Kaido and asked. Ah ha ha ha. Kaido picked up the wine jug and drank heavily. Tell others not to take the initiative to trouble the Straw Hat Kid just because of an inexplicable video. I, Kaido, will be on Ghost Island, waiting for the day he challenges me. World governments. Tell the Navy and CP0 to spare no effort in killing Straw Hat Luffy. His fruit is our greatest threat. Naval Headquarters. Looking sideways at Kapu during the Warring States period. We both know what Renren fruit, Phantom Beast, and Nika form represent, but Kapu, you also need to remember your identity. Kapu's expression was gloomy. Even the most familiar Warring States period couldn't determine what Cap was thinking through his expression at this moment. After a period of silence, I heard Cap say, "You don't need to remind me. I also know what to do. I'm a Navy officer. The entire world of One Piece knows that something big will definitely happen next. The rebellious world of Lu Xiu. I don't know what fruit ability is, nor do I believe in fate. Lu Xiu disdains to speak. Even if there is a called fate, it is created by me personally. No wonder Luffy's awakening will disappoint many people. Being given a fruit, a destiny, and a destiny, is not like the vast majority of people, falling into the ordinary. In my opinion, both fruit ability and Geass power should be tools for creating the future. The future and destiny should be firmly controlled in my hands. My youth love story indeed has a problematic world. Attendance department. The big teacher said with a dead fish eye. Either tell the reader the protagonist's destiny from the beginning, or keep walking freely. The midfield changes the core of the story. Just thinking about it makes me feel terrible. Regarding this. The snow fell with a calm and indifferent sound. 1,000 people have 1,000 hamlets, not everyone cannot accept 5 levels. The senior teacher nodded silently. That's for sure. So I only mean roast, not mixed with others. Chapter 7. Rewarded QA, just. This answer. You are listening at novel full.audio. Rewarded QA session. What style do you think the 5th tier is? A. Domineering style. B. Hot-blooded wind. C. Funny style. D. Unusual and unconventional style. Someone has discovered something unusual. Oh, it seems like there's no more text on this video. Is this question for us? Every anime world has found this situation. They began to discuss one after another. When it comes to explosive seeds, then the answer must have been chosen in A, B, right. Indeed, they have already exploded, how could it still be a comical style? No. Everyone, what you think is too natural. Don't forget, the 5th gear of Luffy has disappointed many people. In addition to the above-mentioned content, there must also be problems with the 5th gear itself. I feel that the correct answer is C. This speculation, of course, cannot change the thoughts of others. The vast majority of people have chosen either A or B. After all, explosive seeds should be domineering and passionate. One Piece world. Wanli Sunshine. Joba scratched his head and said, how do we answer this? He turned to look at Luffy and asked, Luffy, what style do you think your 5th gear will be? Hey. Even if you ask me, I'm not sure. Luffy also looked bewildered. He hasn't even developed the 4th gear yet, and he has no idea about the 5th gear. Although he is indeed talking about him, after all, it is a matter of the future and he has no ideas at all. But how to put it? If I really develop 5 levels, it will definitely be both domineering and passionate. I will definitely punch Kaido away. Luffy clenched his fist. I won't talk about anything else. As the Pirate King, one cannot do without these 2 qualities. Upon hearing this, Joba nodded and said, since that's the case, I'll choose A. Usopp pondered for a moment and said, I also choose B. No matter how unreliable Luffy is, he must know what his future will be like. This question is like giving away points to us. This is the benefit of staying with Luffy. Hey hee, there is a reward question and answer. I don't know what reward I will give myself, it's really exciting. Usopp rubbed his hands. Hey. Nami sighed and said, I mean, before making a choice, should you combine Luffy's style of behavior? She recalled all the battles so far and analyzed, Luffy's battles have always been like farce, but by no means comical, so I feel like it should be D. Upon hearing this, Sanji leaned over to Nami with love in his eyes and said, you are truly Miss Nami. She is beautiful and smart, and I also chose D. Sauron also said, Luffy's battle is indeed neither good nor bad, and I also chose D. Ah. There are so many candidates for D. Lu Fei collapsed on the deck. Give me more trust. Thinking that there is still one person on the ship who has no choice. Luffy's eyes lit up and he turned to look at Robin. Robin, you must have chosen between A and B, right? Robin covered his mouth and chuckled lightly, although I want to hear from the captain, it seems that A and B are not the correct answers. Let's compromise and choose C. Cut, Luffy pouted. At this moment. Answer announcement. Congratulations to the audience who answered C, you got it right. Reward received. All abilities increased by 10%, what? It's actually C. Nami waved her hand wildly and said, no, 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 even if Luffy is unreliable, he is still very handsome when he bursts out, and he can't even match the humor. Indeed. Sauron also frowned and nodded. He was the first to know Luffy and knew what he looked like when he became serious. Sometimes, he is really funny. But when facing the enemy, he is absolutely serious. But now. The correct answer is actually C. This shouldn't be. After working hard for a while, only Robin got it right. Nami was also surprised. But she also cares about the rewards. So he turned his head and asked, Robin, have you changed since receiving the reward? Robin felt it carefully and said, I feel like my physical fitness has improved a lot, and also, I am more familiar with flowers and fruits. Improving physical fitness is not enough. Surprisingly, even the fruit development has increased. Ah, I envy you so much. Nami was extremely envious. She also wants rewards. The same goes for people in other worlds who choose the right answer. Magic Forbidden Book Catalog World. Shirai Kuriko exclaimed in surprise, does my superpower seem to have strengthened a bit? Is there such a thing happening? No, I must answer more questions and improve my ability to LV5 in the future, so that I can get closer to my sister. He. The unpredictable world of Apollonian classmates. What a pity, I answered incorrectly. Lai Tang. He scratched his head and scanned the entire class. I heard everyone's whispers clearly. Although his listening skills have been honed by Apollon beyond ordinary people. But now, he can't help but wonder. Ah Lu, has my hearing become stronger again, said the classmate who came to the classroom, feeling very strange. P.S. Where are the flowers, review tickets, monthly tickets, and tips? The experts who like to watch this topic have contributed to it. Also, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments section. Chapter 8. The first time you see a popular seed, you can still walk and be funny. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Headless Knight Strange Tales World. Yumazaki Walker slammed the car door and said, how could it be a comical style? With my years of experience as an otaku, as long as it involves explosive seeds, it will be super invincible and domineering. Why is Luffy so funny? As a fellow otaku and still a companion, Kanazawa Eriwa knelt down to the ground in despair. How could I have answered such a simple question incorrectly? No, no, no. It's not my fault. At the end of the day, who would have thought someone would cheat and still follow the path of a funny artist? It's unreasonable, okay? Yes, it's not that I'm ignorant, it's just that Luffy is too outrageous. The daily world of male high school students. Zhongbang covered his face with frustration and said, the correct answer is actually C. No matter what you think, it's impossible, right? Hidetada pretended to hold her eyes deeply and nodded in agreement, indeed. In my impression, all kinds of explosive seeds, just like Carot, only happen in the midst of great crisis and despair, right? Many protagonists only explode when important people die, right? Why can it still be a comical style? Although this speculation may be a bit unfair to Luffy, he's not the kind of person who can still laugh when his friend dies, is he? It's really not what Hidetada wants to say. The correct answer is really amazing. Can explosive seeds still lead to a comical style? Are you a funny comic? When everyone can't help roast. The problem on the light screen disappears, return to the video. Next, let's savor the scene of Luffy transforming into fifth gear. The screen appears. Luffy, who had lost his heartbeat and breath after being beaten, lay on the ground with his eyes rolled over. Then. Dong! Suddenly, the drum sounded. It seems like a heartbeat, beating regularly. Then. Luffy's body emitted white steam, and his hair gradually turned white. He grinned and showed an extremely happy smile. Standing up straight, he laughed and said, "Why can I still stand up? I've already lost. Anyway, I'm so happy." The screen continues to play. The battle was presented to the audience, as if it were a comical and illogical one. At one moment, my eyes protrude from being hit, and at another moment, it was giant Luffy using the Kido to jump rope. At the same time. There are also roast about the bullet screen. Hey, the more I look at it, the more uncomfortable it feels. I can only say, fortunately Ace died early. If he were killed on Ghost Island, I wouldn't even dare to think of that scene. Indeed, Ace helped Luffy block thunder and gossip, and he died. Luffy exploded in despair, but he laughed heartily. Damn it, just thinking about it made him want to curse his mother. Actually, you can look back. Kapu died, Luffy laughed, his red hair died, Luffy laughed. Oh my god, how did I think about designing the fifth gear like this? Full-time Hunter World. Ah, this. Xiao Jie scratched his head. I suddenly understood why the fifth tier rating was so poor. Chi also silently scratched his head. Although he didn't want to say it, he also couldn't accept such a setting. Digimon World. Yagu Beast, fortunately you won't laugh happily after evolution. Tai hugged the ancient beast. Tai, I definitely won't smile. Shouldn't a smile stay after we win together? The ancient beast enjoyed Tai's touch. He added, and even chimpanzees don't keep laughing in danger. See this picture. Many people fell silent. It turns out to be a ridiculous style. This setting is simply outrageous. Why did you explode in a desperate situation and still perform such a funny battle? Is all the despair he has experienced before false or not? I really don't understand. And in the world of One Piece. When you see a brand new video and barrage. Nami and others also want to roast. But they care more about Luffy himself. As early as in Alabastion, they had met Luffy's brother Ace. That is a very good person. Having education, strong abilities, and a high level of common sense is outrageous. Perfect and Luffy are two different types of people. And on the barrage just now. Surprisingly, someone said, fortunately, Ace died early. It goes without saying what this represents. They could only pray, but Luffy didn't see that sentence. Turn your head and look towards Luffy. Everyone couldn't help but shut their mouths. Because at this moment, Luffy trembled all over and stared blankly at the light curtain. Ace. What does it mean to be dead? Muttered in a daze. Hey, stop joking, Ace, how could he possibly die? Speaking. Luffy knelt down to the ground in despair. Continuously smashing the floor. How could this be? How could this be? The next moment. He looked at the other people on the ship with tears streaming down his face. Everyone, please help me rescue Ace. Those who can kill Ace must be very powerful, right? But. So what? Our captain, but cried and turned to himself for help. Nami pinched her waist and said, Luffy, is that enough to say? Let's go, no matter where your brother is, we must find him and set off. The White-Beard Pirates. Dad. Marco panicked and shouted, please allow me to go and retrieve Ace. He must have been killed because he was chasing the traitor. Fool. The voice of the White-Beard shook the sky. He squinted at Marco and said, notify everyone, White-Beard Pirates, set sail. I do not allow my son to die before me. Naval Headquarters. Cap. During the Warring States period, the whole person was not doing well. I just finished talking about Luffy. Now the barrage is telling the world that Ace has also had an accident. Will it really be okay with Kapu's old temper? Warring States period, I need you to look at me. If I do something irrational, please hold me down. Cap's face was gloomy and his tone serious, but he still said so. Chapter 9. Those brainstorming plotlines, kneeling. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone in the world of One Piece yearns to know what will happen next. But. Suddenly. The video in the light screen has changed. As is well known, Arkham Psychiatric Hospital and Florida are both places where talented people emerge recently. After Ice Shooter and Twisted Tree Spirit, Florida has once again seen a great talent DC universe. Gotham City. Arkham Mental Hospital. Is it ours? Are all the people locked inside a group of lunatics? Where are there any talents? The people of Gotham City are quite puzzled. The residents of Florida with different parallel universes are also very puzzled. Who exactly are the talents here? Especially Ice Sagittarius. Twisted Tree Spirit. What kind of ghost is this? Rune Continent. Fred. Indeed, some people call me the Ice Sagittarius, but Florida. What is this place? Is it possible that the person who speaks has a big tongue and has turned Buddha into Buddha? Aishi was extremely puzzled. Even if we throw this away. It is said that the Twisted Tree Spirit lives in the Twisted Jungle and cannot fight with Fred. But the video says that both the Ice Sagittarius and the Twisted Tree Spirit are in Florida. Wait, do you think those monsters living in the Twisted Jungle will invade Frederick someday in the future? It seems that I need to be constantly on guard against them. Just speaking. The video continues. A man from Florida took his daughter for a stroll in the park. My daughter was unfortunately bitten by a dog without a leash. The man found the old owner of the dog and demanded compensation from him, but I don't want the old man to be surprised. Your daughter was bitten by a dog, not by me. You have the ability to compensate the dog. This manly person entrusted someone to take his daughter to the hospital and followed the elderly along the way. After knowing the old man's address, the man kidnapped him to his basement in the middle of the night. After accidentally discovering that the old man was suffering from rheumatism, the man borrowed 4 high-power fans, blew at the old man, and occasionally splashed water on him. The old man was tormented for 3 days until his wife called the police and he was rescued. Bully. Although it's very unethical, I can't help but laugh when I see an old pussy being treated. Go against the sky. Explode. It can only be said that it is truly Florida. People can live without it, but they cannot live without it. I can only say that, Cold Ice Sagittarius brother, is YYDS. Why didn't I come up with such a good solution? Wooliyuki World. Wu Liuqi, who was setting up a stall at the school gate, had a flash of brilliance in front of him. In a group of 3, there must be my teacher. The ancient sincerely did not deceive me. I need to jot down this idea, maybe I'll have a chance to use it in the future. This is simply a targeted torture for rheumatic patients. With this method, Wu Liuqi doesn't believe that anyone can resist it. He. By mastering this move, my assassin ranking will definitely advance a few places. Wu Liuqi has already seen a bright future waiting for him. The world of Fox Demon Little Matchmaker. Brother, at the beginning of the month, I feel that you are very suitable to go to this place called Florida. Wan Fugue retorted Bai Yuechu's arm and said. Bai Yuechu rolled her eyes and said, Young Master Wang, don't be joking. Do you think I'm such a wicked person? Wan Fugue pinched his chin and said, like Bai Yuechu, I didn't expect you to be humble in such a place. Aren't you the most immoral person? Bang! Bai Yuechu lifted the table and said, a scholar cannot be humiliated by killing someone. You can scold me for lacking backbone, but you cannot say I am immoral. You are insulting my personality. Wan Fugue was startled. He never expected that Bai Yuechu would have such a big reaction. However, despite his fear, Wan Fugue still hesitated and said, do you still have a personality to speak of? In terms of his understanding of Bai Yuechu, this person is at most a person, Gu, there really isn't. Bai Yuechu naturally said, of course. If it were me, I would torture the old man to the point of admitting his mistake, and then let him go instead of torturing him for 3 days. Wan Fugue concluded, you are indeed suitable to go to Florida. Why? Bai Yuechu didn't understand. How could he be so principled and kind to go to Florida? Gotham City. The residents seem to understand. Ah, if it's this kind of talent, I seem to understand now. Indeed, Acom Mental Hospital has produced many talented individuals. I still don't understand, it's just a bunch of scum. Why can we call it a talent? Who knows? I don't know anything else, all I know is that for a funny news story, this video was very successful and I laughed. The video is changing again. Those plot twists that make people's brains bleed. See this title. So, that video just now was just a way for us to relax. Is this video the focus? I'm curious about what plot can make people's minds bleed. Number 1, undoubtedly a giant. The barrage instantly filled the screen. Ah, it's what I thought. Indeed, the later plot of Giant really confused and angered me. The absolute masterpiece in the early stage, who knew that the author suddenly fell ill among them? It directly destroyed a good work. P.S. Just wanted to ask, is there a big shot reading this book? Chapter 10. Even if it's romanticized, hello to everyone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It can't be said that it ruined a good work, it can only be said that JSC failed to give us a good ending. The theme of humanity and war has always been with us. We all know that wherever there are humans, there must be war, and giants always revolve around this topic. War, the spiral of hatred, cannot be solved at all, of course I can understand. But at least, I hope that my beloved work, every character I like, can have a good ending that I am willing to accept. But how can I say it? I can't accept the outcome of the giant at all. Why did you give us such an ending? JSC. Like giants, Lu Xiu also tells similar stories, even with a similar ending, sacrificing himself to achieve a brief peace in the world. But I can accept the ending of Lu Xiu. Because the leader of Lu Xiu's world has been executed, I know that what Lu Xiu does is meaningful. On the other hand, the giant left me with only a belly full of anger. Is the barrage polarization so severe? Everyone can see it now. Barracks do not truly dislike giants. I'm just not satisfied with the outcome. April is your world of lies. I understand, I understand. Gong Yuanshuan sat on the swing in the park, raising her hand to block the sunlight and watching the sunset. It's a great story, but the ending is full of regrets. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to accept it. The best outcome I hope for is a big reunion. Even if there must be sacrifice, everyone around the protagonist can still achieve the best outcome. This is also what I am doing. So, let me see what mistakes giants have made so that I can avoid them. If only everyone could still smile in the end. Gong Yuanshuan shook her feet and stared carefully at the light curtain. Marley. I understand. The ending must be that all the demons on the island have died, which would make people so regretful. A civilian suddenly exclaimed excitedly. Why do you think so? It must be our world, right? And among the 9 giants, the giant is not under our control, indicating that he is on that demon island. Naming him after him definitely means having him as the protagonist, right? And this ending, which is not accepted by people, must be that he lost to us. That is to say, in this battle against the devil, the ultimate winner is us. We, Marley, are the ultimate winners. Although this statement is highly emotional, it does make a lot of sense. Other Malay citizens also celebrated upon hearing this. The future belongs to us Malay. Oh. And the excitement belongs to the Malay people. It did not reach Parati Island. Even say. Many people on the island are worried at this moment. They couldn't help but think. Did we persevere and ultimately lose to the giants? At this moment. Video begins. 2 boys and a girl wearing a red scarf were playing in a cozy-looking town. Then, a massive giant destroyed the city walls, and countless immaculate giants flooded into the town, wreaking havoc. At one time, there were countless deaths and injuries, and Alan's mother also died at the mouth of the giant. I must kill all the giants. The oath begins from this moment. Alan joined the army, trained, and constantly fought against giants. In the process, he gained new friendships and also lost companions. During a mission, he was eaten by a giant, awakening the power of the giant, and then helping humans fight against the giant One-Punch Superman world. This world is really terrible. Although those giants are not strong. But Chiyu couldn't help but frown. Because the scene in the picture is too tragic. He couldn't bear it and wanted to help eliminate all the giants. Over the lighthouse. Looking at the light curtain on the sky. Ran Bing sighed and said, "Oh, there are other worlds that are also troubled by monsters. It would be great if there were fewer such worlds." She said from her heart. Ran Bing, Erica said with a smile as she leaned over, "We're all too busy to care about ourselves. Do you still have the mood to care about other worlds?" Ran Bing nodded seriously and said, "It's because of experiencing it that I hope other worlds can avoid suffering from it, right?" Erica touched her chin for a moment and thought for a moment, so that's true. Just. Doesn't seem like the ending of this story is good. I just hope our story can be better. Ran Bing was taken aback. His expression fell into desolation. I actually forgot. The giant is presented precisely because the ending is full of regret. Can the person who wrote those words accept me, you, and everyone's ending? Marley. What ghosts? Isn't it that all the people on the island are demons? Why? Why are they also resisting giants? A group of people brainwashed by the upper class watched the video incredulously. What did they all see? A warm family, shattered by giants. Countless children have lost their parents because of giants. Are they really demons? Isn't this the same as us? Someone murmured. But right away. Don't be fooled by the content in the picture. They are demons. Does anyone think they are pitiful? Why do you have such naive thoughts? Do you forget how those demons once killed our ancestors? This is retribution. That's right. Retribution. Demons die under the power of demons, there's nothing to be pitied for. They deserve to be eaten. For a moment, many people joined in. Signed, please rest assured to feed. The data looks better and can also increase the exposure of this book. Thank you on your knees.